Hello English language learners around the world. Welcome to English with Ross. I'm Ross, and today we're going to talk about how to find language exchange partners so you can practice speaking in English. In my last video, I talked about how you could practice speaking English completely on your own, which is a good way to practice speaking when you don't have anyone to speak to. But of course, the best way to learn a language is to use it, and so speaking English to another person is one of the best ways to improve your English. In this video, we'll take a look at 3 free and easy ways you can find language exchange partners. The links to all the sites that I mentioned in this video can be found in my description box below. And I just want to mention that I am in no way affiliated to any of these sites. I just like using them. Now, before I start, just remember that the person you connect with will be your language exchange partner, so you shouldn't just expect this person to teach you English. There are a lot of English speakers around the world who would be happy to help you learn English in exchange for you helping them learn your native language. If you just ask people to only teach you English, or you insist on only speaking English with your language exchange partners, you're going to have a hard time getting language partners to keep practicing with you. And vice versa, if your language partner only wants to speak the language that he or she wants to learn, then you should probably find a new partner. So with that in mind, let's take a look at 3 ways we can easily find language exchange partners. My first tip is to use language exchange forums and websites. There are a lot of language exchange forums and websites that you can find online, and one in particular that I recommend is conversationexchange.com. This website is simple and easy to use. How it works is you simply select the language you're learning and the language you speak, so that way you can learn English from someone who wants to learn your native language. And if you want, you can also specify the location to see if there are any English speakers around you who will be willing to participate in a language exchange. If you're not comfortable with meeting the person face to face, you can choose to have online exchanges through chat software, or even just exchange emails as pen pals. The website conveniently allows you to specify what it is you're looking for, so you can easily find a language exchange partner that is willing to communicate in a way that is comfortable for you. My second tip is to use language exchange apps. For something that is even more accessible and easier to use, you can download language exchange apps on your smartphone. One app that I personally use and recommend is HelloTalk. This app allows you to quickly create a profile and connect with people who speak the language you want to learn. Within minutes of logging into the app, I was already messaging and communicating with other language learners. The nice thing is that everyone who uses this app is interested in improving their language skills. So far, in my experience, everyone I have messaged has been happy to help me with my language learning goals through text messages, voice messages, and even connecting over Skype. And likewise, I've been happy to help them with their English. Even if you're just sending text messages, it can be a great way to practice a little English with a real person. And language exchange apps make it easy to do that. My last tip isn't about finding one language exchange partner specifically, but it is about finding groups of language learners. My third tip for finding language exchange partners is to go to Meetups. There's a specific website, which is meetup.com. Now this website connects people with similar interests so they can meet and share their passions with other people. There is a specific section on meetup.com which is specifically for language exchanges. Most meetups take place at popular public locations such as cafes, restaurants, universities, or other well-known public spaces. There are probably groups of people in your city right now meeting every week and practicing English. And the great thing about these meetups is that they are usually free or cost very little. For most meetups where you have to meet at a cafe, they usually ask you to just buy a cup of coffee. Just to give you an example of what a meetup is like, there's a popular meetup which happens every week in Montreal, where I live, where about 20 to 30 people meet at a cafe for a language exchange. There is a host who designates the language tables, so at one table, everyone speaks English, at another table, everyone speaks French, and sometimes there are 3 or 4 tables, each with a different language. The host will try to make sure that there is at least one native speaker at each table. So when I go to this meetup, I often spend about an hour at the French table, but I also spend about an hour at the English table so that I can help out other language learners who are learning English. Every meetup is organized a little differently, so if you go to one that you don't really like, don't give up, just move on and try a different meetup. Now there are usually English language exchanges happening in most major cities around the world. But the great thing is, if there isn't one happening in your city, you can create one. Anyone can create a meetup and you can get your friends and family involved, and you might just be the first one in your city to start a new trend. Now I know going to a meetup where everyone speaks a different language can be really intimidating. But this is a great way to push your English to the next level by speaking in a group conversation. And remember, you'll meet other people who are just like you and want to learn another language. There were a lot of people who I met at these meetups who ended up becoming my language exchange partners. I also met people who had the same native language as me, but they were also studying another language that we both wanted to learn. So these people also became my language partners as we both studied our target language together. So there you have it, 3 simple and easy ways to find language exchange partners. You don't have to live in an English-speaking country to speak English with people every single day. Even if you use only one of these methods, it's possible to set up your schedule so that you're communicating with someone who speaks English every single day. Whether it's through text message, voice message, online chat, or meeting in person. So now don't forget, you can also practice your English communication by leaving me a comment down below and telling me what you thought of this video. If you like this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Have an awesome day, guys. I'll see you in the next video.